South Africa's national carrier, SAA, has been flying to Lagos, Nigeria daily for a number of years now. Well, for more details on that now, I'm joined by the regional manager for SAA.
SA started flying into Nigeria about 19 years ago. So next year we'll be having our 20th anniversary into Nigeria. It's been a long walk to freedom, as they say. It's been a long road to this attainment of the daily frequencies into Lagos. We started with about 2 frequencies, then we grew to 4 frequencies a week. Now we're doing daily. So SA has been doing quite well in Nigeria. As you have noticed, if you flew into Lagos over the weekend or last week, I'm sure you would have enjoyed our new Airbus A330-300, which is one of the new additions to the SA fleet. So Lagos enjoys one of the best aircraft in our fleet. So
yes, we did in fact fly that very same aircraft. It was very comfortable. Now I see that there's been an increase in frequency. Can you give us a sense of the visitor numbers between South Africa and Nigeria, and what, in a sense, we can deduce about interest in Nigeria?
For this year, the budget for that we are supposed to achieve for South African Airways in Nigeria is a passenger uplift of about 130,000. Last year we did about 110,000 passengers, so that's quite huge, and there's a lot of potential if you consider the number of visas that is being issued on a daily basis to visitors, to businessmen, and so on. So there is quite a lot of potential between South Africa and Nigeria.
And you've recently started flying to Abuja as well. Tell us a bit more about the interest behind that route.
The interest behind the Abuja route is to be able to connect the capital city for South Africa, Johannesburg, with the capital city of Nigeria, which is Abuja. So we believe that instead of passengers flying over into Lagos before they connect into Johannesburg, it is better to connect the 2 capital cities together to be able to increase awareness, to be able to increase trade, to be able to increase tourism, and so on and so forth. You will rightly see that Abuja is in the center of Nigeria, so it's more like in the northern part of Nigeria. There is not much interest for leisure travel from the northern part of Nigeria into South Africa. So this gives us an opportunity. We believe that there's potential to be able to sell South Africa as a country to the northern part of Nigeria as part of our ability to improve our services in Nigeria. As
the regional manager, of course, you service other countries as well, like Ghana and Abuja. How are those routes doing?
As a regional manager, I'm in charge of about 10 online stations for South African Airways, about 4 active offline stations, and numerous non-active offline station. Specifically, you mentioned about DRC and Ghana. SA has been doing quite well in Ghana, for example. SA's operation in Ghana is huge. I'm sure you know that we fly from Accra to Abuja 3 times a week. We fly from Johannesburg to Accra daily, and we also connect from Accra direct to Washington. South African Airways is the only 4-star carrier that flies between Accra and Washington, in fact, in the entire region. So our operation in Accra has been quite busy and huge. In the DRC, which is Kinshasa, we fly 6 times a week to Kinshasa, and we've seen quite a lot of a huge number of growth in Kinshasa.
One of the biggest concerns about traveling on the continent is that it is very expensive. How is SAA ensuring that those prices are competitive, I suppose, so that that kind of travel is accessible to most Africans?
My response to that will be yes, it seemingly looks as if it is expensive traveling around the continent. The reason will most likely be because there is very few airlines that service some cities or some destinations. So for destinations that there are quite a number of airlines that service them, the rates are quite affordable, very affordable. But for destinations where there are very few airlines that service them, you expect that the rates are quite high. But not it's either because of competition or the fact that service in Africa is also quite expensive. So infrastructure there's deficient infrastructure, fuel price is quite high, and so on and so forth. So if you service a particular city that ordinarily should command a lower fare in terms of comparative advantage, a lot of airlines fly there to bring down the price, you will most likely not find that in those cities. That's why it looks like it is quite pricey to fly to some destinations. Otherwise, if you look at the common, very frequent destinations that most Africans fly to, you'll get very good rates, very good service, and so on. Yeah.